I recall from a very young age hearing the story about there's only two guarantees in life. Do you remember what they are? If you've heard this too, you might be thinking, Keith, it's death and taxes. Well, if an environment is using SharePoint, it's also very, very likely they're using the feature for document management and document sharing. And the primary tool to do that in SharePoint is called a document library. So we could have multiple document libraries per site and subsite. So in this nugget, I'd like to walk you through how simple and easy it is to create, use, and verify a document library in SharePoint. Adding a document library is really simple. We're going to do three basic things. Number one, we're going to decide which site, if we have multiple sites, including subsites, where we want to put the document library. Two, create the library. And as part of that creation, three, deciding whether or not we want to put a quick launch on the left-hand side to make it easy for our users to find it. For our demonstration, we're going to use the hands-on lab environment. We're going to go ahead and use the Windows 10 machine. We'll log in as Bob with our lab password of capital NUGGET exclamation mark 23. Then we'll open up a browser, connect over to SharePoint on the 2016 server, select our site, and create our document library. So we'll supply the password for Bob. Press enter, and we'll log in. And let's go ahead and launch Chrome from the taskbar at the bottom. And we'll go over to srv1.nuglab.com and press enter. It'll take us to the top level site for Acme. We'll go ahead and authenticate. We'll log in as administrator so we have King Kong rights. We'll use the lab password once again for administrator and press enter to log in. So here's our Acme top level site. And for our demonstration, let's go ahead and choose the engineering subsite. So from the top navigation, we'll click on engineering subsite. That still has the default look and feel for the color scheme. In fact, before we create a new document library for the engineering subsite, let's modify the look and feel just a little bit. For this site, it'll give us some visual separation from the others, and it'll reinforce a couple of the skills we learned in our previous nugget about changing the look and feel. So my question is, do you remember how we can change the look and feel of a site? And if you're saying, well, Keith, there's actually several ways. One of those would be to go ahead and click here in the Getting Started tile to change the look and feel. And you'd be absolutely correct. Another way of doing it would be to click on the gear icon and from the drop-down, select Change the Look here. Or we could go to Site Settings and select Change the Look. So let's launch Change the Look from that drop-down. And let's go ahead and take our current look and we'll just modify the colors a little bit. So for colors, let's go ahead and use this one with black as the primary color with gray 25% and pink. And then the upper right-hand corner here, we'll click on Try It Out. And as it creates that preview for us, if it looks good and we want to keep it, we'll go ahead and save that look. So we can also change the fonts as well, but this is very visually different from the other sites. So we'll know we're in engineering when we see this dark background. So in the upper right-hand corner, we'll click on Yes. Let's go ahead and keep it. And that dumps us into the site settings for the engineering subsite. If we wanted to go to the home page for that subsite, we can click on engineering subsite and it'll take us to the home page for this subsite. And now for the purpose of our lab, let's go ahead and create a new document library for the engineering subsite. Now, in a previous nugget, we took a look at how to add apps to our websites. And because in SharePoint 2016, document libraries, lists are included in this family of things called apps, that's also the way that we would add a document library. We simply click on the gear icon, and then from the drop-down list, we can select Add an App. And right here, we have the option for adding a document library. And if we scroll down a little bit, we have the icon again for it as well. So from right here, we can just click on Document Library. We can give it a name. And one of the tips I'd like to share with you is that when we create the names, in this case for this document library, that is going to become part of a URL. So if you can avoid doing spaces or underscores, it makes it that much better in the event somebody's ever going to have to manually type that in. And I can hear the argument already. Well, Keith, if we name it ENGDL, that's not very descriptive. Well, we can actually change the title after we create the document library. So we can have the best of both worlds. We can have a nice compact URL link, and we can change the way it looks after the fact. So we'll click on Create to create this new document library. It's dropping us off in Site Contents. So over here in the Quick Launch, that's highlighted. Also from the title up here, it's showing us where we're at. And there's our new document library called ENGDL. And currently has no items in it. If we wanted to edit the details, including the title, for this document library, all we need to do is click on the ellipsis right here next to the document library. And then from the menu that comes up, we can simply select Settings. So a setting selected, and from here under General Settings, there's an option for List Name, Description, and Navigation. So if we click on that link, for list name, description, and navigation, here's where we can change the actual name it'll look like as users connect to and go to this document library. So here we could call it Engineering Document Library. And also it's right here where we could go ahead and very easily add a quick launch menu item for this document library to the engineering subsite by simply clicking on that radio button, which I like to do as well. So we'll go ahead and click on Yes to display this document library on the quick launch and click on Save. So you'll notice we're still sitting in the settings for the engineering document library. You notice the title here has changed. And over here on the left, we have a link in our quick launch area for the engineering document library. So if we click on the link in the quick launch over here on the left for engineering document library, it'll take us to that document library. And from here, if we wanted to upload files or our users wanted to upload files to this library, all they need to do is click on Upload, then browse for a local file to copy over. So let's do that. Let's click on Choose Files, and let's go to our Downloads folder. I know I've got a few files there. There's the Acme logo. And after we select that and click on OK, that'll copy it to this document library. And if we click on Upload one more time, let's go ahead and grab another file by clicking on Choose Files. And let's go ahead and grab a zip, bginfo.zip, and click on Open, and then click on OK. And that copies that up as well. Now, one of the differences between a traditional document library and the picture library that we created in a previous nugget, they both hold files, but the picture library is going to give us the thumbnail views of those images. We can also see here that this engineering document library has inherited the look and feel, including the fonts and the colors involved from the engineering site. And just to confirm, if we go to some other site, for example, if we go over to HR subsite, by clicking on the top level link for that, the HR subsite is not affected. And for the HR site on the left-hand side, if we go down here to Site Contents, the HR site does not have the document library because that document library is specific to the engineering subsite where we created it. So in this nugget, we did three basic things. Number one, we selected the site where we wanted to add a document library. Two, we created the library. And third, we added a quick launch and we changed the title for that document library by editing the settings of that document library. And now, my friend, it's time for you to do the hands-on practice as well. Using the lab link over to the right, if you're logged on from a computer and logged on to the CPT Nuggets website, I'd like you to practice creating a document library following the steps that we did right here in this nugget together. So enjoy doing that. Meanwhile, I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.